Hello, fellow Amiga users. I'm Bill. Come with me today when we install the brand new Amiga operating system, OS 3.1.4.
Your meditation.
Alright everyone, really exciting news in the Amiga community. OS 3.1.4 came out this week. It's amazing, right? It's like 2018 and updates to the Amiga operating system are coming out. It's crazy. So last week we had our Westchester Amiga user group meeting, and I wanted to give it an install, man, and show everyone in the club what OS 3.1.4 is all about. And I decided to stream it on my Twitch channel. Now, at the WOG meetings, we meet in like the food court of a mall, so I can't set up the real Amiga there, so we do everything through emulation. So I did this setup on my Twitch channel, all with FSUAE, man, and it came out really nice. It was really fun to install it, learn a little bit about it, and demo it for the guys. So a lot of people have been asking me since then, like, can you do this on a real Amiga 1200? So I was like, sure, I'll make a video about it, installing it on a real Amiga 1200. Now, full disclosure, I'm like not an Amiga OS expert by any stretch of the imagination, man. There are people on like English Amiga Board and Amiga.org that are absolute geniuses with this stuff. I mean, I used to use it back in the day, man. I used to like edit my startup sequence, do some memory management, all that kind of stuff, but yeah, ever since I got really back into the Amiga, man, it's been all like games and like Deluxe Paint and Ad Pro and all the artistic stuff that I like to do. So I'm not like in this video, you're not gonna see like brilliant Amiga OS. You're just gonna see how I install it on my 1200 and a couple of the basics like loading up the new icons. I'm also going to do this video as kind of like a stream. This is just like going to be a quick video, man. I'm just going to go through the whole process of installing it on my 1200, and it's not going to be anything fancy. I'm just going to treat it like a stream, and then I cut out the spaces and like speed stuff up. Like when we're actually like installing it from floppy disk, man, we're just going to speed that up, and I'm going to chop it up. So it's going to be fun. We're going to install it on the real 1200. And, before I start, I just want to give two big shout outs. I want to give a big shout out to two of my close friends. One is Akira, the other is BetaJaen. Both these guys are amazing, and without them, I wouldn't be doing this, man. Like, they inspired me to install this OS 3.1.4 on my real Amiga. Akira, explained to me about basically doing like a soft kick with my ACA 1233N, which is a key component to this installation. And BetaJaen, man, he inspired me. He showed me how to install the icons, and it's just been a great teamwork over the past few days. I've been really enjoying like bouncing ideas off these guys. We've been bouncing ideas off each other, and they've really helped me a lot. And I want to give them a big shout out. I'm going to put links to both their Twitch channels in the description. And yeah, they're awesome. Akira is an amazing Amiga DJ, and BetaJaen, what can I say about him, man? He helped me so much, and he streams over on Twitch like every day, like every day, 5 o'clock British time. The dude's streaming. His streams are absolutely brilliant. They're gorgeous. He has mastered the art of making the Amiga look great on stream. He's really into adventure games, and I encourage you to check out his Twitch channel. The link will be in the description of this video. All right, let's get going. So here's the order of business for the video. First thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to Hyperion's website and download the new OS. Now it comes with ADF files and a Kickstart ROM file. So we're basically going to make real floppy disks from the ADF files, and we're going to make like a pseudo Kickstart disk because we want to use the new Kickstart to take advantage of some of the new features of Amiga OS 3.1.4. The big one, is like the 4 gigabyte barrier has been broken, so now we can have hard drive partitions bigger than 4 gigabytes. But in order to do that, you need to have the new Kickstart. So we're going to make this pseudo Kickstart disk. Eventually that Kickstart is going to live on our hard drive. We'll get into that in a second. And then we're going to install 3.1.4 on my real Amiga, and we're going to install the icons, because it's not installing the icons is like not that obvious. It takes a little bit of trickery to install the icons. So that is the general order of business for the video today. So first thing we're going to do in this installation is head over to Hyperion's website. Here we are. I'll post a link in the description of this video. You guys can just click on it, or you can do a search, no problemo. So here we are on Hyperion's website, Amiga OS 3.1.4, the official update you've been waiting for. The new cleaned up, polished Amiga operating system for your 68K machine fixes all the small annoyances that have piled up over the years. Originally intended as a bug fix release, it also modernizes many system components previously upgraded in OS 3.9. Contrary to its modest revision number, Amiga OS 3.1.4 is arguably as large an upgrade as OS 3.9 was, and surpasses it in stability and robustness. Over 320K release notes cover almost every aspect of your favorite classic Amiga OS, from boot menu to data types. Now, this is a question that a lot of people have asked me. They're like, wait a minute, like 3.1.4, isn't there already Amiga OS 3.9? Well, yes, there is. And here's the reason why this is 3.1.4. Hyperion, whose website we're on now, they own the rights to Amiga, the classic, the one we've all been using all these years, Amiga OS 3.1. They do not own the rights to Amiga OS 3.9. So naturally, in order for them to make an upgrade, make their new updated OS, they have to upgrade what they own, right? So they own 3.1, so they made 3.1.4. They own the source code to Amiga OS 3.1. They don't own the source code to Amiga OS 3.9. So that is why this is OS 3.1.4 and not something after 3.9. Two different companies going on here. Before we download, let's just take a look at some of the key highlights of the new release, man. For me, my favorite new features are the ability to have partitions larger than 4 gigabytes. This is especially true today because a lot of us are using compact flash cards as a hard drive, and compact flash cards, man, today we're going to use a 16 gigabyte one, but until now we've always been limited to 4 gigabyte partitions, so you kind of have to like split up your compact flash card into these 4 gigabyte partitions. But now with the new Amiga OS, you can have larger partitions, man. The 4 gigabyte barrier has been broken, so that's a huge new feature for me. And being a visual guy, I'm also like pretty excited about the new icons. To be honest, that's kind of what sold me on it. I was like, cool, we got some new icons, that's awesome. Let's take a look at some of the other features. There's over 20 Kickstart ROM modules, and many more disk-based core OS components were fixed, updated, or added. Native support for all Motorola 68000 to 68060 CPUs, and a more robust auto configuration process. That's going to be pretty cool. I want to put a CD-ROM drive into my 1200, and I understand that like support for it is built in. You can just kind of plug and play. I don't know about that. We're not going to do that in this video, but that's something I'm excited to try out in the future. Here's the support for large hard disks, including boot for any OS2X/3X compliant controller, driver supporting HD SCSI CMD, TD64, and/or NSD. Dedicated boot partitions are a thing of the past, even on legacy devices. You can also use variably sized super floppies. I'm not sure what super floppies are. We're not going to get into that in this video either, but again, something, this is just an install video, something to look forward to. A modernized workbench as powerful as the OS 3.9 version, including new or refreshed preference editors in the legacy OS 3.1 GAD tool style. It is such tools as disk copy and format fully support large media, printer hard disk, and many other support tools have been fixed and upgraded. There's Disk Doctor. Man, Disk Doctor's been updated. the command line interface /shell and many of its commands have been reworked and modernized, now supporting native support for pipes, soft links, hard links, and longer file names. It's pretty cool, man. Like Amiga OS already had pretty long file names. That's pretty cool. Cross-DOS and the CD-ROM file system are now smarter, faster, and multi-threaded. Fully reworked, modernized, and bug-fixed printer drivers. An optional upgradable intuition library that allows off-screen dragging for Windows. That's pretty cool. Screen real estate is really a key thing. So now it sounds like you can drag Windows off the screen partially. And there's your colorful, professionally designed icon set. So yeah, lots of cool features. There's a lot more than this too. We're not going to go into all of them. Maybe we'll do another video about Amiga OS 3.1.4 features. This is just a basic install video. All right, so now check it out. We got some buying options down here. We can buy it for the 500, 600, 2000, buy for Amiga 1200, 3000, 4000, or 4000T. Now this is really interesting because you have to choose which computer you want to buy the OS for. Now this probably has to do with the Kickstart ROMs. I'll show you like what comes in the package when you buy it in a second. But to note, they are gonna sell this with the actual Kickstart ROM chips that you would put inside your Amiga. That is not available yet. I know it's, from what I understand, from what I read, it's coming soon. So for now, you either have to burn your own ROM chips or you have to use the ROM file that comes in this package, which you'll see in a second. So naturally, we're gonna install it on a 1200. So this is what I did, man. I clicked on this, buy Amiga OS 3.1.4 for 68K Amiga 1200. It's an electronic delivery, and it costs $34.38. Now, that's totally cool. I wish now, a lot of Amiga users have multiple Amigas, including myself. I got a 500, I got a 1200, I got a 4000, got a 1000. I would love it if they gave us like a package option, so I don't have to buy it. I don't have to spend the $35 for each machine. That would be awesome. I don't know if they have that planned for the future, but it'd be really cool if you'd spend, I don't know, like $65 or $70 and just get a license that allows you to use it on multiple computers, because right now it's just a single machine license. So yeah, something to consider if Hyperion, if anyone from Hyperion watches this, like a bundled option would be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. And I encourage everyone, to actually come here and purchase the new OS if you're interested in it. Please don't steal it. You got every dollar you spend is a vote, and if you want people to continue making new things for the Amiga, whether it's new games, new operating systems, new software, new hardware, you have to, you gotta spend some money and support them. So I encourage everyone who's interested in this product to come here and purchase it via trying to steal it on some kind of torrent site or something. So all right, thanks for that. So after you purchase it over on Hyperion's website, you get a zip file, and this is it right here, os314_a1200.zip. Unzip the file, boom, we'll go into the folder and we'll see what we got. So we got two folders. We got a documentation folder, which I encourage you all to read. We got a ROMs folder, and we got some ADF files. So we got the extras ADF, fonts ADF, locale, modules A1200 ADF, which that's the new one. We got a storage ADF and a workbench ADF. So very similar to 3.1. With the exception of this modules disk, which is new. I'm not 100% sure what is on it. We'll find out. But I think it has to do with Kickstart ROMs. Speaking of Kickstart ROMs, let's take a look in the ROMs folder and see what we got. So there are two subfolders. We got emulation or map ROM or to burn. So let's pretend you have an EEPROM burner. You're lucky enough to have an EEPROM burner and you want to make your own Kickstart ROMs. You can go here, and here's the two files that you can burn. As you know, Kickstart is actually two ROM chips inside the Amiga. So here is the file for each ROM chip. But you know what? I don't have an EEPROM burner. We're going to do this via software. We're going to do it via a sort of soft kick. And I'm able to do this thanks to my ACA1233N accelerator card. We'll get into this in a moment when we start making our pseudo Kickstart disk. But if you're going to use 314 with emulation with FSUAE or WinUAE, or you're going to do it like I'm going to do with a soft kick, this is the file you want, kick.a1200.46.143. If you want to see how I install this via emulation, you can go check out my Twitch stream. And this is the Kickstart file you'll need when you boot up your Amiga. Now, I understand you can still use the old Kickstart 3.1 files, but your mileage may vary. You're not going to get all the benefits of 3.1.4. You're not going to break that 4 GB partition limit. So I encourage you to use the updated ROM, whether you burn it or whether you soft kick it like we're going to do, or whether you wait until Hyperion sells the actual chips. So next step, we're going to actually use the real Amiga 1200 now. I'm going to use the real Amiga to make real floppy disks from these ADF files and from this Kickstart ROM file. Now, the way I transfer files between my PC and my Amiga is via compact flash card. I got a neat PCMCIA compact flash card reader, so we're going to copy these files onto the compact flash card right now, then bring them over to the real Amiga. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is copy the OS314 folder onto my compact flash card, click on it, copy, and open up my compact flash card, and I'm going to paste it over here, and we're going to bring that over to the Amiga. Now, second thing I'm going to do is copy some files. I'm going to make a pseudo Kickstart disk. And now the way this is going to work, because I don't have the actual Kickstart ROMs in my Amiga 1200, we're going to do what's called like a soft kick. So what's going to happen is when I turn on my Amiga, the original 3.1 ROMs will be up and running. And then we're going to use a special program that comes with my ACA1233N accelerator card called ACA MapROM. And what that's going to do is going to take that new Kickstart file that we saw and load it into RAM and do a reboot. Now this is really cool because it actually runs faster. So even when I don't run 3.1.4 and I just run regular 3.1, I still do this boot up system. I load 3.1 into RAM because it actually makes everything run a lot faster, because the RAM access is actually much faster than the Kickstart. Now I'm not an expert. So other people can tell you like how this works much better than me, but I found that speeds things up, and this is like a cool way to use Kickstart 3.1.4 without actually having the ROM chips. So I'm going to show you how I copy that over now. So I made a folder here called Bill's Kickstart 314, and we're going to copy the ROM files that we need and the program that's going to load the ROM file into RAM into this little folder here. So I'm going to go over to the OS 314 folder that we downloaded from Hyperion's website, go into the ROMs folder. We're going to go to emulation or map ROM since we're gonna map that ROM, and there's the ROM file. This is the new Kickstart 314 ROM file. We are going to copy it, and then we are going to put it into my new Kickstart folder, paste it in there. And now we're also going to have to grab the software from my ACA 1233N that allows us to do this. Now, question might be, what if I don't have an ACA 1233N? Well, there's another, if you have a Blizzard card, like I know BetaJaen's got a Blizzard card, there's something called Blitzkick that will do it, or BlizzKick that will do it for you. There's also another program called SKick that will do it if you don't have an accelerator card, but this is getting into territory that I'm not 100% familiar with, so you'll have to do a little bit of research on your own to see if you can load this ROM file into RAM before, if you can load the ROM file into RAM on boot. Okay, so I don't know all the ins and outs of it. Like I told you before, I'm not an expert. I'm just showing you how I did it, how I got to work. If you're lucky enough to have an ACA card, this is how you do it. The Blizzard card works very, very similar. If you don't have either of those cards, you have to do a little bit of research. I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. You can leave the question in the comments. I'm sure someone much smarter than me can tell you how to do it. So anyway, let's go over to my folder. Here's my ACA 1233N software. We'll go into the folder, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the tool that lets you do it. It's a little utility. It's called ACA Map ROM. We are going to copy that over to this folder. And we also need to grab the driver, right? So we go to the libs, and I'm going to keep it in the libs. I'm going to keep the libs folder just to keep it straight in my head. But in the libs folder, we have the ACA 1233N library file. So let's go back here, copy the libs folder, and we're going to put this in our little our new little Kickstart folder, and you'll see what I'm going to do with this. First, we're going to make a floppy disk, so it's going to be like a Kickstart floppy, like Amiga 1000 style. And then once we set up the hard drive, I'm just going to build all this into the startup sequence, so I don't have to use the floppy anymore, and it just happens behind the scenes. Don't even know that it's happening behind the scenes. It just starts up, and there's Kickstart 314 and Workbench 3.14. So yeah, so that we're all set. I'm going to eject the compact flash card, and we're going to take it over to the real Amiga and make some floppies. Alright guys, here is the compact flash card that we just copied the files onto. Here's my PC MCI compact flash card adapter. I'm just going to slide this sucker in like this. Voila. And now I'm going to slap it in the side of my 1200. And we're going to start up my 1200 in the classic mode that I've had for many years, OS 3.1, and we're going to use that to make the install, to make a fresh install of 3.1.4. So let us go to the overhead, and here you can see me pop in the PC MCIA adapter with the compact flash card in it, and now we're ready. Now we're going to fire up the Amiga. Alright, so here we are in Amiga Workbench 3.1. This is the classic setup I've been using for many years now. Now, if you saw in that zip file, it came with 7 ADF files. ADF files are Amiga disk files, and they are images of floppy disks, 880K standard Amiga floppy disk images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those ADF files and turn them into floppies. And that's how we're going to install OS 3.1.4. Now, if you have a GoTech drive, you can copy these ADF files onto your USB stick, and you can install it from a GoTech. I'm still old school, man. I'm still running my 1200 with actual floppies, so I'm going to convert these ADF files to floppies. If you're in emulation world, you don't have to do this, man. You can just use the ADF files. That's kind of what they're for, are using it with modern emulators. So first step, though, in my process of installing it on the real Amiga is to convert the ADF files that we got from Hyperion's website to actual floppies. Now, there's a lot of different programs you can use to do this. I'm going to use one called Easy ADF because I like things that are easy. There's also another one on Aminet called ADF to Disk. That one you need to use in the command line, but we are going to use Easy ADF. I like it a lot. It's got a GUI, and it's super simple to use. So I am firing up Easy ADF now. And here is the window for Easy ADF. We're gonna point it to where our ADF files are. So we go over to the compact flash card. Let's go to volumes to make it simple. Compact flash card, and we're gonna go to our OS. I should have cleaned up this card. A lot of stuff on here, man. A lot of streams. This is how I prep all my streams. So we're gonna go to the OS 314 folder that we got from Hyperion. And you can't see them right now, but the ADFs are in this folder. Just I remember that's where I put them. We'll hit OK, and there they are. They pop up in the window, and now it's like super easy to make one of these ADF files into an actual floppy. I'm gonna go in order. I'm gonna start with the install disk. So I'm gonna click on install 314 ADF. That's our install disk, and I'm gonna say transfer the ADF to floppy. I'm gonna click on it. Yep, it's just gonna do like an exact copy onto the floppy disk. I'm gonna hit write disk, and now it's gonna say please insert disk 1 of 1. So I got this black one ready to go. And also shout out to my buddy Gunstar Hero, man. He hooked me up. I was low on floppies, and Gunstar hooked me up with these cool floppies that are all different colors. So I've got each ADF file is gonna be a different color, so I keep track of it. So anyway, I'm gonna pop in the first floppy. I love those clicks. Floppy's ready to go. We're gonna hit OK, and away it goes. So now it's making the install floppy. Now I'm gonna do this for every single ADF disk. There's 7 of them, and I'm gonna skip ahead, man. Like the video is gonna be like way too long. It's already like way too too long. So this is the procedure I'm gonna do for each ADF file, and when it's all done, we will have 7 floppy disks ready to install Amiga OS 314. Alright, so I did that procedure 7 times, so we now have 7 floppy disks ready to install the OS. Next step, we need to make this like pseudo Kickstart disk. Now, you remember back in the Amiga 1000 days, like you turn on the 1000, first thing you gotta do is pop in the Kickstart disk. Then after that, you can like boot up your program or boot up Workbench. That's kind of what we're gonna do here, because I have I have Kickstart 3.1 ROMs in this computer, and before I do the install, before I install Amiga OS 314, I want to make sure that Kickstart 314 is also running, so there's no bugs. It was designed to do this, and we can take advantage of the larger partition. If I don't run the install from the new Kickstart, then we're still stuck with the 4 GB limitation, and we don't want that. So let's get started on making this pseudo Kickstart disk. Now eventually we're not going to need the disk anymore. The disk is really just for the install. Once we have the hard drive all set up, I'm going to put the ROM files that are on the floppy onto the hard drive, and then it's all going to happen like in the background. We don't have to worry about the disk anymore. But for now, like, we don't have a hard drive set up yet, so we're going to have to use the pseudo Kickstart disk. So now we're gonna make the Kickstart disk. I got this cool red disk here. This is gonna be our Kickstart 314 disk. I'm gonna pop it in, and it is a brand new, fresh disk. Well, maybe not brand new, but it's a fresh one, man. We're gonna have to format it. So I just do the old school format disk. We'll call it, let's give it a name, man. We'll call it Kick 314, baby. I love it. And we'll format it. Warning, all data will be lost. It's all good, man. We'll do the format. And again, I'm going to speed this up for your viewing pleasure. I'm going to speed this up now. Woohoo! Alright, our Kick 314 floppy is ready. Now we're going to copy the necessary files onto it. Now, again, don't forget, I'm only doing this because I don't have actual ROM chips. If you have an EEPROM burner and you made 314 Kickstart ROM chips and popped them in the machine, you don't need to do this. Or if you're watching this video in the future and Hyperion now sells the Kickstart ROM chips in a bundle, I think that's their plan, then this is not necessary, man. If you popped in the real 314 Kickstart chips into the actual Amiga, then you're good to go. You don't have to do this. But I don't have the actual chips, so that's why we're doing this. So now we're going to copy the necessary files onto the floppy. I'm just going to use my old favorite. I'm going to use some good old directory opus to copy suckers onto this disk. I'm going to put the floppy over here, and my files are going to be over here on the compact flash card, man. Remember we made that little directory before, that Kickstart directory? That's what we're going to copy over now. So I think I called it Bill's Kickstart, if I'm not mistaken. There is Bill's Kickstart 314. And this is the actual Kickstart ROM file. And this is the program that's going to load this ROM file into RAM, and that will allow us to use the new Kickstart ROM. So I'm going to copy both these over. All right, so we got our ACA map ROM program and our Kickstart ROM file over. Now don't forget, I also made a libs directory which has got our ACA 1233N library file in it, so I'm going to copy this over as well. There we go. And now I'm also going to make an S directory because I'm going to make a startup sequence that will load the Kickstart ROM file into RAM, so I don't have to like do a command line every time I pop in this disk. So I'm going to make an S directory, and we're going to make a startup sequence file in there as well. So I'm going to make their S, voila, and now we're going to take it to shell, man, and we're going to make a startup sequence that's just going to put in a simple command that's going to load this Kickstart ROM into RAM for us. So close that out. Yep, I really want to quit Opus. As much as I love you, Opus, I want to quit you. And now we're going to take it over to the shell. Here we go. Now again, I'm not an Amiga OS expert here. I'm just showing you how I do it. And I'm sure there's many ways you can do this, but this is the way I was able to get it to work. So first thing I'm going to do here in shell is I'm going to make the floppy disk bootable. So remember the old school like install command? I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do install df0. This changes the boot block to tell the Amiga that this is a bootable floppy disk. Voila, done and done. Now we can boot from this floppy. Now I'm gonna change the directory over to my df0, and I'm gonna check out the files, make sure they're all there. Excellent. So there's our ACA map ROM. Then I need to remember this name, and I gotta write it down because I forget things. So I'm gonna write down the kick.a1200.46.143 and ACA map ROM. Those are the two files we're about to work with in the startup sequence. So now I'm gonna switch to the S directory, and there's nothing in here yet. I'll show you. Nothing yet. So we're gonna make a startup sequence. So I'm going to do ed startup sequence. Here we go. Now there was no file called startup-sequence in the S directory yet, so you can see creating new file. And now we're going to type the command that's going to load the Kickstart ROM file into RAM. Now again, this may change, man. This may be different for you. I'm doing this because I have the ACA 1233N. If you've got like a Blizzard card or a different accelerator, or if you're going to use SKick, this is going to be a little bit different, but the concept is still the same. We're going to load the Kickstart ROM file into RAM. So when we boot, we'll be in Kick 314 instead of Kick 31. So we're going to do ACAMAPROM. That is the name of the program. ACA map ROM, and then we're gonna load the file. So it's gonna be, you can probably do sys. I'll just do df0 because we're always in df0. And so we're gonna say ACA map ROM df0 kick.a1200.46.143. Now that is going to load, so that's the ACA map ROM program is going to load that Kickstart file into RAM. Again, if you don't have an ACA card, if you have something different, this procedure will be, this command line will be just like a little bit different, but this is how I do it with my ACA 1233N. So we're going to escape, and we are going to save it. Voila. Now let's just make sure it's saved. Let's do a little dir. There's startup sequence. Let's check it. And there it is. Excellent. So let's quit out of this, and now we can get ready to boot into Kickstart 314. Excellent. So close it out. I'll just keep it neat. So now if I were to boot in this configuration, it would be using Kickstart 314, and of course my hard drive is still Amiga Workbench 3.1 system. So we're going to pull out the compact flash card, and we're going to put in my new compact flash card, which is going to be all set up for Amiga OS 3.14. Now notice this is a 16 gigabyte card. This is going to be the exciting part, man. So this is a SanDisk 16 gigabyte compact flash card. So the way I'm going to set it up, I'm still going to have a boot partition because I like that. Like I like to have Workbench in its own partition. So I'll make like a 1 gigabyte, which is still like overkill. I'll make a 1 gigabyte partition for Workbench, and then we'll have 15 gigabytes for the rest. And this is super exciting to see this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the compact flash card out of this Amiga 1200, and we're gonna boot to Kickstart 314. This is gonna be super exciting. I'm so psyched. All right, so this might be a little hard to see. I'll do my best here, but I'm going to open up the Amiga now. So of course I'm gonna power it off. I don't really have to disconnect the mouse, but I definitely want to disconnect the power. And I'm gonna pull out the PC MCIA adapter. We don't need that anymore. And I'm gonna open this sucker up. I have to be very careful because the wire here for the LEDs is tight, and I don't want to like mess up the ZIF connection on the keyboard. So I'm just gonna do this nice and gentle. And you know what? I am gonna pull out the mouse just to be super safe for now, because I don't want the weight of this on any of my cables. Maybe it's overkill, maybe not. But you can never be too safe with your Amiga, right? So here it is. So you can see these are my old Kickstart 3.1 ROMs. Like I said that before, there's actually 2 Kickstart ROM chips in the Amiga. So if you were to burn your own, you'd need 2 of these guys. And you saw earlier there were 2 files, right? One for each ROM chip. And here is my hard drive. This is my compact flash hard drive. So we are gonna pop this sucker out. Voila. Goodbye Workbench 3.1 for now. And here is a blank 16 gigabyte compact flash card. We're gonna pop this sucker in. Compact flash card is in. Let's close up the Amiga. I'm gonna put the keyboard back. Again, being very careful with the LED wires, being very careful in general. Okay, that's good enough. I'm gonna plug the mouse back in. Plug the monitor back in. Plug the power back in. I put the microphone back on top so you guys can hear me better. And now I'm gonna pop out. I haven't popped out our Kickstart disk yet, so I'm just gonna pop it out, and we're gonna boot up now just to show you guys. You know, like remember this is the Kickstart 3.1 splash screen. I'm gonna turn it on, and we'll see classic Amiga 3.1 Kickstart. And there it is. Most of us remember, you know, this awesome splash screen. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna install, pop in our new Kickstart disk, and we're gonna check out the new 314 insert Workbench disk. So pop it in. Now the soft kick is gonna happen. And then as soon as the soft kick happens, I'm gonna pop the disk out again, so it doesn't keep loading. Otherwise, it'll just be like an infinite loop, right? It'll just keep loading the Kickstart ROM into RAM. Okay, boom. That was soft kicked. Pop out the floppy, and let's see what we got. Let's see if it worked. And there we are. Check it out. It's the brand new Kickstart splash screen. So you can see it, Amiga OS, Amiga 314 ROM Kickstart version 46.143, copyright 2018. Wow, Hyperion Entertainment, all rights reserved. Excellent. So yeah, there we go, guys. we just kicked in 314. That's awesome. And now it's time to set up our compact flash card and install Workbench. And I love the boing ball, man. That's a really nice touch. All right, so I'm gonna pop out our little Kickstart disk and pop in the install disk that we made for Workbench 314, and it's got HD tools on it, and that's how we're going to set up the hard drive, the compact flash hard drive. Pop in the install disk. Here we go. RAM disk and install 314. Install 314. We got install, HD setup, HD tools. That's my phone. All right, so here we go into HD tools, and we're gonna set up our compact flash hard drive. HD toolbox. Here we are in the HD toolbox. So first thing we want to do is change drive type. We're going to define a new drive type. Let's see. First thing we're going to do, let's read the configuration, man. Let's see if it can auto detect the 16 gigabyte compact flash card. So read configuration. This will read in as much data as possible from the drive. Some information, such as the number of heads, may not be available. Note that head time blocks per track usually equals blocks per cylinder, but not always. Okay, cool. Well, we don't really have heads on our compact flash card. Anyway, continue. Oh, baby. Look at that. 16 gig. It says it right there. It identified it as a SanDisk. It's got the right name and everything. 16 gigabytes. This is awesome. So I'm just going to give it a new name. I'm going to call this, I'll call it SanDisk. SanDisk compact flash. We'll do okay. Awesome. Now we'll select this guy. And now we can partition the drive. This is going to be super, super exciting. I want something bigger than 4 gigabytes here. So let's partition the drive. So default setup, excellent. So our first partition, now like I said, you know, like Workbench doesn't really need that much at all, but maybe we'll just do like a gigabyte, you know, just to keep things simple in my brain, because I've got a very simple brain. So yeah, 1007 megs, 1 gigabyte, perfect. And now let's make the rest of the partition. Look at this. This is gonna be cool. 15 gigabytes. So that is freaking rad. We got a 1 gigabyte Workbench partition and a 15 gigabyte partition for everything else, man. So what I am going to do is I'm going to change the name. I just want it to be called DH0, and I want this to be called DH1. Perfect. And we'll make sure that DH0 is bootable. I'll just do fast file system for now. Everything looks good. You do have advanced options here, but don't need to mess with that right now. We can change the boot priority to make sure it boots that drive. But like I said, it's been a while. It's been a while since I did all these partitions. I'm just gonna keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid for me. We will partition it. We'll hit OK, and then we are going to save the changes to the drive. Voila, excellent. There we go. Let's just make sure it stuck. Sure did. Cancel. Exit. And now we can reboot and format this sucker. So I'm gonna pop out the install disk. We still need to use our sudo Kickstart disk, but soon we won't have to anymore. So I'm gonna pop out the install disk, and I'm going to insert the new Kickstart disk, and I'm gonna do a reboot. And it's going to load the new Kickstart ROM file into RAM again. As soon as it loads it in, I'm going to pop out the disk. And I'm going to pop out the Kickstart disk and pop it our Workbench 314 install disk in. So as soon as we see the pretty colors, I can pop it out. Almost there. Pop out the Kickstart disk, pop in the install disk, boot from the install disk, and now we can actually start the installation, man. We can format our hard drive and start the installation, man. This is exciting. Hopefully our new partitions will show up on the Workbench screen. We'll see. Here we go. There's the install disk. Awesome. And there we have DH0 and DH1. That is so cool. Okay, excellent. So now we need to format them. So I'm going to start with DH0, format disk, and I'm going to call it Workbench. My shift key is broken. Put the trash can, fast file system. Yep, this all looks good. Oh, interesting. Long file names. I'm just going to call it this for now. Now we have two options. We can format or quick format. Format is kind of like a little bit more old school, and it takes a really long time to do it. It's if you're using a traditional hard drive, it does it basically like sector by sector. I'm just gonna do quick format for now because it's much faster. It's gonna take a long time to like format 16 gigabytes. So I'm gonna do a quick format for now, which should be fine with a compact flash card. But again, if you're more of an Amiga Workbench expert than me, you can speak more intelligently on this. But for now, I'm gonna do a quick format, which should be fine. Okay, to format the disk in device DH0, format it. Do you really want to format? Yes, I really want to format it. There it is. There's Workbench, and now I'm going to do the same thing for DH1. And I'm going to call this one Work. Quick format, format, format. If we did a regular format, man, it could take like a really long time. It would take a really long time. Like I said, I think it's pretty much only necessary if you're using more of a traditional hard drive because it checks all the sectors and whatnot. So excellent, there we go, man. We got our install floppy disk, our work, and our Workbench partitions. So yeah, this is exciting, man. Time to actually do the install. Yay, finally, right? So let's go to the install floppy disk. Already got our hard drive set up, so go to install. We do the English here. We do the English. And here we go, man. We are starting the install of 314. This program lets you install release 314 of the Amiga operating system on a hard drive. It can be used to upgrade an older release, to install from scratch, or to control which languages are available on a hard drive with release 314 already installed. So yeah, apparently we can install this like over our 3.1 installation, but we're starting from scratch here. So let's proceed. Select install release 314 to do a complete installation, or you can just update the languages. We want to do a complete install. Then this is old school, man. The same old. We can do novice, intermediate, or expert user. Expert user, you must confirm all the actions. I'm not really an expert, but we'll choose expert anyway. I'm expert enough. Let's proceed with the install. And we can install for real, pretend to install. We want to do it for real, man. It's game time. It's go time. And no log file necessary, so let's proceed. Release 314 will now be installed on your hard drive. Any previous release already present will be replaced. If applicable, certain files from previous releases will be preserved, including the startup sequence. Do you want release 314 installed in the Workbench partition? Yes, I do. Which language should be installed? I'm just going to stick with English, because I don't speak anything. I barely speak English, man. I barely speak English, let alone a foreign language. Which printer driver should be installed? The only one I really need is PostScript, because sometimes I print the file. I don't have any printers connected to my real Amiga, but you know what? We got 16. We got a 1 gigabyte Workbench partition, so I'll just install them all. Which key maps should be installed? The only one I really need is American, but I'll just install them all. What the heck? Why not? Why not? Please insert the Amiga Workbench disk version 314 in any floppy drive. Excellent. So I'm going to pop out the install disk, pop in the Workbench disk, and we're off to the races. All right, Amiga locale. All right, halfway there, 50% done. Insert the fonts disk. Now I do have an external floppy drive. Probably would have been smart to connect that, but such is life. Next up, Amiga storage. Pop out the fonts disk. We go storage, baby. All right, 80% there. Getting close, getting close. We gotta pop the install disk back in. Woohoo! Install 100% done. Let's see, it's got a message here for us. This system is running from a 32-bit CPU, 68, 030, 040, or 060, of which may require a specific CPU library to be installed in the libs directory of your hard disk. Please consult the manual of your CPU board for more information. The support disks that came with your CPU board may also include additional documentation and support tools. Aminet provides generic replacement libraries and tools that may also work with your CPU board. After installation of these components, reboot the system manually to complete the installation of release 314. So this is something I got to look into, because the ACA 1233N board that I have, it didn't require any additional libraries for OS 3.1. So I don't think I really need to do it. I don't think I need to do it for 314, but I'm not 100% sure. This is something that I have to learn. But I probably will just download the libraries from AmiNet just to be safe. But for now, I just want to complete my installation and get going with 3.1.4. But yeah, this is definitely something I need to look into more. Like I said, with Workbench 3.1, I don't need to do this because the 1233N just does it automatically. Don't need it. But maybe it's a little bit different with 3.1.4. You know, we'll see. But let's just get started, and hopefully everything will be working okay. All right, so let's proceed. Installation complete. Workbench 3.1.4 can now be found in your Workbench drawer or partition. Excellent. There we go. Sweet. All right, so it appears that Workbench has been installed on our hard drive, which is super exciting. Now, what I want to do, as much as I love our sudo Kickstart disk, I want to copy the files over onto the hard drive so we don't have to insert a floppy disk every time we boot our 1200. Even though it's cool, man, even though it reminds me of the 1000, let's pop in this disk and copy the necessary files over onto the hard drive, and we'll edit the startup sequence so it'll do the it'll load the new Kickstart into RAM every time we boot. So I'm going to pop out the install disk and pop in our Kickstart disk and copy the files over to our brand new Workbench partition. And I'm going to do a show all. There we go. Let's open up the Workbench. And I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to put, all right, so let's show all our files. Window, show all files. Here's our libs directory. So let's copy our driver over from our floppy into the libs directory. Our ACA 1233N library is going to come over here. Perfect, there it is. Over there in the libs directory, we can close libs. Excellent. Now I'm gonna put the ACA map-rom in our C directory, so I don't have to call it. So I'm gonna copy the ACA map-rom over to our command directory. Make sure it took it. Yep, ACA map-rom, excellent. Close that out. Now we need to copy our Kickstart ROM file over. So I'm gonna make a new directory. I'm gonna call it Kickstarts. Boom. And I'm going to copy our ROM file into here. Alright guys, so now we are going to do our first boot. This is super exciting. Our first boot of Workbench 3.1.4. I'm still going to use our sudo Kickstart disk because I want to boot to Workbench, and then we're going to add the startup sequence so we no longer need the Kickstart disk anymore. So I am going to turn off the machine. Make sure, yep, our Kickstart disk is in there. Turn on the Amiga, we'll kick it. I'm a little nervous. I hope this works. ROM file loaded, pop out the disk. And let's see if she boots. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, oh man. I'm so nervous. Excellent. We booted. Check it out. Copyright 2018, Hyperion Entertainment, all rights reserved. Excellent. First thing first, I want to get rid of, who runs like Workbench in a window? I don't know. I'll go to backdrop mode. And we'll snapshot everything, man. Cool. So now what I want to do is I want to just edit our startup sequence so we don't have to boot from this floppy anymore, even though I love booting from the Kickstart floppy. This is super exciting. So we'll go to our shell. Excellent. CDS. Actually, I'm going to do a dir. Yep, there we are. So first thing, before I mess with our startup sequence, I just want to make a copy of it to like a backup, right? So copy startup sequence. Okay, awesome. Cool. Let's make sure that worked. Yep, now we got a backup of our startup sequence. Always like to make a backup. Safety first. So let's add startup sequence, and we're gonna put our command first. Our command to load the Kickstart ROM file into RAM first. First things first. All right, so fingers crossed this is gonna work. So we are gonna do sys c ACA map ROM. So we're gonna use that utility to sys kickstarts, and then the Kickstart file, which is kick A1200.46.143. So theoretically, this should use ACA map ROM to load this ROM into RAM, and then it does the automatic reboot. So we will save it. And fingers crossed, man, we're going to reboot it now. Hopefully it works. There we go. Look at that. That is pretty freaking cool. I think we are up and running, guys. Awesome. We did it. Woo! Workbench 314 installed on our hard drive. Amazing. Woo! This was quite the effort. Oh man, this is cool. So yeah, so we got our two partitions. We got Workbench and Work. Let's open up Work. 0% full. 14.3 gigabytes free. 3.6 megabytes in use. How cool is that, man? How cool is that? 14.36 gigabytes free. Awesome. And there's our Workbench. Excellent. We got a gigabyte free over here. Wow, so we are rocking and rolling. Now, of course, I usually used to run my 3.1 in like this vanilla setup, but I'm super excited about the new icon pack. So let's install the new icons. They're actually like a little bit hidden, which is kind of crazy. But let's copy them over. I'll show you guys how to do that next. So the new icon pack works best in high res 256 colors, which is like pretty massive to run Workbench in, but we'll start with the max specs, and then we'll dial it back and see how the icons look, because I think you can probably get away with like 16 color mode, but we'll do a little experimenting here and check it out. So but first I'm gonna change my Workbench settings to high res and 256 color. So we'll go to Workbench, check out the new prefs icon. That's pretty rad. Open up our preferences. Everything's running like pretty snappy right now, which I really like. We'll go to screen mode. We'll change over to NTSC high-res laced, and we'll go to 256 colors. Crazy! We'll save that. There we go. Excellent. All right, so now it's time to install the actual icons. Now, this is crazy, man. Like, there's no like instructions like how to install the icons, and they're actually like hidden, and they're hidden on the storage floppy disk. So we're gonna pop in the storage floppy disk now and copy the icons over to our hard drive. So I got storage floppy. Gonna pop this sucker in. Storage 314, open it up, and you can see, man, there's nothing here. There's nothing here about the new icons. So we have to do a show all. So we'll show all files, and there's the glow icons. I don't know why they hid it, man. It's strange. It's like one of the key new features, but they hid it on us. Here they are, and they do look nice. They do look sweet. So let's copy them over now. All right, so now we could do like an Amiga E, or we just do execute command, and we are gonna copy the icons over to our hard drive. So now I was doing the stream, and I was using slightly different command arguments, but luckily, like, the gentleman who designed the icons was actually watching my stream, and he gave me some advice on the best command to use, the best command syntax to use here. So we are gonna copy storage 3.1.4 glow icons /# question mark. So that's gonna copy, you know, all subdirectories to sys clone buff 10. Now he was saying that, you know, in systems that have less RAM, like I'm rich here, man, with my A1233N. I got plenty. I got 128 megabytes, so I don't have to worry so much. But he said if you're working on a system with less RAM, you wanna do this, so it limits the amount of memory used, so your computer doesn't crash. So clone buff 10 all. Again, I'm not a Workbench expert. This was taught to me, and now I'm sharing it with you. All right, so there you go. There is the command and its arguments, and we'll copy them over. Execute. Here we go, and away we go. This is so exciting. I'm so psyched. All right, well, that's it. It's done. Keymaps info was the last one that I copied over. So now I'm going to close this out, and we'll reboot. Pop out the floppy, we'll reboot, and hopefully all of our new glow icons will be up and running. Yeah. There we are. Excellent. Now, one thing I want to do here is I want to turn off the borders on the icons, because obviously they're going to look much better without the borders. So let's go in here to our, oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Go into our preferences. Go to our workbench. You know, I'm going to go icons. I'm going to go to, let's go to like best quality, right? And border size, I'm going to turn off the border. No border. Save it. Yeah, that's better. Much better. And these guys look sweet, don't they? I love the new prefs. That's sweet. And over here, I'm gonna make this nice. I'm gonna change that icon too. But let's do a snapshot of everything. Yeah, I want to change that. Get that better. It's looking sweet. I dig the new trash can as well. I'm gonna have to. You know what? I put the Kickstart in this stupid Kickstarts folder. I should have put it in devs. I should have put it in devs Kickstarts. That's probably where I should have put it. But I can just delete the icon file if I want to. Now I'm running this in 256 color mode, which is a lot. But fortunately, I have the horsepower to do it. But if you don't, you probably want to run it with fewer colors. So let's see how they look in a lower with fewer colors. So let's take it down to, I've tried a bunch of them. Let's go to 16. So at 16 colors, to me, like they still look pretty good. Like you don't really need the 256. It looks better with 256, but 16 looks pretty sweet. Ironically, if you go to 32 color mode, it doesn't quite look as nice in my opinion. So let's check that out. Everything is kind of like cyan and a little mushy. So we could run it in 16 color mode. Now, my friend the BetaJaen, I know there's been a lot of discussion with him on English Amiga board, and there is a new palette. Like you can load up a new palette that lets these icons look good in fewer colors. So I'm gonna table that for another video. Or check out BetaJaen's Twitch channel, like I mentioned before. I'm sure he'll do a video. He'll do a stream over on Twitch, and he'll probably do a video on his YouTube, which I'll also put in the description of this video. And maybe I'll do it as well. But for now, I'm just gonna switch back to 256 color mode. Yeah, and that looks super sweet. That looks super sweet. But even though 256 colors is a lot to be run Workbench in. Yeah, it looks awesome. Now I actually now I need to actually do something with 314 besides just load up the icons, which is all we did here. But that is sweet. I'm excited to try out like the auto config. I am going to download that MMU from Aminet and see if that makes a difference with my 030 or not, because I get the warning message. Like I said, my A1233N on Workbench 3.1, it doesn't need any additional drivers, but we'll look into that. Sorry, I don't have the answers for you about that. This is just my first install, man. This is my first time. This is my first time actually running it on my real 1200. So I'm super excited about it. This is awesome. I hope I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. I hope you learned like something from it. Alright guys, well I'm going to stop the video here. That is my initial Workbench 3.1.4 install. I still have a lot of work to do. Now if you like this video, maybe I'll make another one, man. I still have a lot to do, man. I want to like update the intuition so I can take the windows and drag them partially off the screen. I want to see what that's all about. I want to get my PC MCI to compact flash card adapter working. I want to install WHD load. So I've got a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, I have a lot of real work to do as well. So I need to cut this video short now and I need to get back to work. But if you liked it, man, you know, if you liked the way I explain things and you want to see another video where I start to customize my 314, let me know, and you know, if I have time in the next week or so, I will try to make another one. If not, if you think I stink, I'll just stick to what I know, man. I'll stick to ham images. All right, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in today. Good luck with your 3.1.4 installs, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Guru Meditation.